everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of knives from Twisted Assisted. Now Twisted Assisted is a UK company started by a good guy in the community, James. First lot of run of knives were sort of import things like that, but he's recently brought out this year, and the end of last year is a run of Sheffield made knives, and they are made by Arthur Wright and Sons in Sheffield themselves, handmade by vintage tools, a lot of which are from the sort of Victorian era, so you know, very traditionally made. Little bit of the EDC gear he provides. This one's a little fidget toy, it's like a little poker chip. Loads of other bits and pieces on his website, so make sure you're checking that out. I will put the link to that in the description, as long where you can buy the knives I'm going to show. And we've got two to look at today, both of which are traditional British Barlows. We have the original run here, which is in the natural canvas micarta, and then the new run here, which I have in the OD green burlap. But we're going to run through the knives, take a look at them. They're both pretty much identical in specs, so we're going to take a look at the new one, but we will take a look at this one in a second. Very traditional British Barlow then. You can see we have the really nice fat swell end and a nice sort of elongated bolster for strength. Close length, we're looking at 3.6 inches. We have a nickel silver pinched bolster on both sides. We have brass pins holding the sort of handle covers on. Brass liners as well. And I mean, look at the blade centering on that. Very good. Maybe favouring the show side ever so slightly. You can see the contrast there between the brass liners and the steel spring. Do have a very minor gap down here, but nothing really that major. Overall construction is absolutely fantastic. Pins all very smooth on both sides. Can't really feel them at all. Hafting, wonderful, no sharp edges, no sharp corners. Even the back of the tang here has been done, so you're not going to catch yourself on it. Love the look of this OD burlap. Look at the sort of texture in that, but it's done. It's really smooth, but it still provides enough grip. There's enough texture on there for me to feel that it's, you know, my hand's going to grip when it's a little bit wet, but you can really see that on there. So we'll take a look at the blade, and this is a carbon steel blade, and it is C70 carbon steel, so a very traditional sort of British steel that would be used for sort of a traditional Barlow knife back when they were made, you know, back in the sort of 1800s, 1900s. We have the aggressive style British clip point Barlow blade. See that really aggressive sort of swoop here at the end. No swedging or anything like that, just a very sort of hard working blade. Nice deep nail nick there. You can see the grind lines on the blade, and we can see the edge there, and this one came wonderfully sharp out of the box. I've gone a little bit high with the sharpening into the sharpening choil, but nothing major. It's not going to affect the knife in any way. Take a look at the new tang stamp for this run of knives, whereas the older run of knives, we take a look at that one first actually. Natural micarta, exactly the same, brass pins, everything is sort of flush, really smooth. Really strong pull on these. They're both about 8.5, but you can see the patina taken on this one from the use, and again nice edge on this one too. See, the original tang stamp here was just done with made in Sheffield, and then if we take a look at the newer one, you can see we have the Twisted Assisted logo there and Sheffield underneath. So it's fantastic to see that they're getting their own sort of tang stamp, and I think that looks absolutely wonderful on the tang of the knife. As I mentioned, very stiff pulls. I mean, listen to the snap on this. It's an 8, if not higher. I'd probably say it's an 8.5, but fantastic looking clip point blades on both of these. Really nice affirmative snap. Of course, this one pull is a little bit easier because this has had a lot more use and wear and tear. I've had this one maybe, I want to say just over 6 months, and it gets a lot of use, whereas this one has come in the last sort of week. But we'll look at the blade length then. Of course, as I mentioned, C70 carbon steel, full blade length of 1 to 2.75 inches, and then a cutting edge of pretty much bang on the 2.5, maybe slightly over. So of course, James then wanted to make sure these were UK compliant, so they could be used in the UK, and a fantastic thing to do, to have a British traditional Barlow pattern made to be very UK legal, and that's one of the things I'm very appreciative of James for doing. Just an absolutely, I'd love the way they do the British Barlow clip points. This one you can tell has had a lot more use, but it's screaming sharp, and that C70 carbon steel, although it patinas like crazy, and this has had a lot of use. It's been polished off once, and this is maybe the last sort of couple of weeks I've been carrying this and using it again. It patinas really quick, but it takes a wicked sharp edge really, really easily, and you can touch this thing up from nearly sort of dull on a strop to have it razor sharp in no time, and that's one of the things I love about the C70 carbon steel. See, no half stop, just a nice cam tang all the way round on both of these knives, and you can hear the snap on the close. Really sort of affirmative, strong pull, and really, really nice lock up. There's no way these things are going to close on you unless you're doing something really silly with them. You see the design, absolutely identical, made fantastically well, and who doesn't love an Arthur Wright & Son knife? No sort of packaging for these, of course. They come in sort of like a batch run, so they just come in a little sort of plastic bag with a little label to tell you what the handle material is and things like that. I haven't got that to hand at the moment, but would like to see them maybe come in a twisted assisted box at some point. Maybe that's something James is working on, but would love to see that. But swell end really lands, helps itself to be comfortable in the hand. It sort of fits in the palm here, and your little finger sort of holds it in there, and there's no way this thing's going to slide around. You've got a nice pinch grip on the ricasso and the bolster, and then 3 fingers around that grippy OD burlap, and it makes it a real nice working knife. This one is going to be put to the test. I'm going to use this thing. I've carried it for a few days, and I've pretty much fallen in love with it all over again. Just the walk and talk is exceptional. I love the way they do the backspring. I wish more companies would get the pull. See, sometimes I can't even open it with my hands. Sometimes I wish more companies, as I was saying, would get the pull that strong. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But there we go. We have 2 wonderfully made British Barlows by a British company. Still making knives in Sheffield. That's Arthur Wright & Sons, of course, for twisted assisted. I really hope you enjoyed this sort of overview of the 2 knives. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.